Welcome to the Bad X Release Show on Covers. Thanks for joining us here every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, 9:15. Hi to everybody in the chat. Hi to Derek. Running hot in May, buddy. 31.19 plus 14 units, 24% ROI. It's been good. We got 2 more days to pump up that May number. How are the markets looking? The move to 9:15 was great, but when you look at the market usually and it looks nice from the hours of like 8 to 9 o'clock, it's tough to get every number at 9:15.
Yeah, exactly. When I sent stuff over at like 7:30 this morning, there were, I think, as many as like 7 or 8 plays that we were considering, and we're down to 4 now because we've lost a lot of numbers, but there's a lot of good stuff out there today.
Yeah, so let that be a lesson to anybody. If you're betting these props, bet them early. If you're using Derek's tools and projections, bet them early. You're going to be left with a better number 97, 95% of the time. I would assume so. So let's go. We had to whittle a big slate down to some move, but let's get right to it. This is the release procedure here. We'll tell you what we'll tell you what book we're betting on. I think I would get this after a while, right? We'll tell you what book has the best odds, give you some secondary books, hopefully, because we know people are in different states, different countries, different provinces. And then we'll tell you the game we're betting on. Give you some time to find that game. Then we'll tell you the prop we're betting on, followed by the player, and then the over and the under, making sure everybody can get the same number. And all we need from the chat, we need a couple things from the chat. Let us know where you got it. Let us know where it moved. And while you're doing it right now, hit that like, subscribe button. It helps us out a lot. In saying that, let's get to the last week of May release. Believe we got a 4-pack going here, but like we know, things could change. Derek could add things. And in the long run, it was a busy weekend for everybody. Follow the Covers Twitter social page. Derek will wake up some mornings and just find incredible value. The ones we send out on the Twitter page usually probably have some of the best value because it's not time restricted compared to the show sometimes.
Right, exactly.
So, release 1. We are over at Bet Rivers. 365 has it, Betway has it, Caesars has it, but the best price are at Canby Books. The game in question, Cincinnati at Boston, the Reds at the Red Sox. Prop market we're looking at, pitcher outs. Move a couple points, but I believe that's still a play there, Derek, correct?
That's still fine.
18, yep. For release number 1, Cincinnati starting pitcher Ben Lively under 15.5 outs, minus 118. Lively under 15.5 outs, minus 118. Shout out to producer Mick for not putting decimal odds up there. We've learned, we've adapted. This one's funny. So Lively, like 2 starts ago, Derek, I think it was a start versus the Mets. I think he was supposed to just be an opener. And now he's put 2 starts together. This was a guy who spent most of his time in Korea pitching. Pinnacle was at minus 155 for this. 214 BABIP, 92.6 left on base percentage. Safe to say, maybe pitching above expectations?
Yeah, I think that's safe to say. He's not a good pitcher. He's well below average. He's going into a really difficult park, facing a pretty good offense, and we're on the right side of the innings marker here. So as long as he doesn't go out for the 6th inning, we win. And I think we're getting really good odds on that. Considering the projection for him it was like 12 something. Let me see. Lively. 12.2. So we're getting like basically a full inning under this line at good odds for a bad pitcher in a tough matchup. Like it's just, this is great.
Good. We're seeing some discrepancies. Minus 118 at Barstool, minus 130 at DK. Everything probably heading towards the market that Pinnacle's setting. And like I said, minus 155. David Jedris chimes in. Hey guys, curious if you have a percent plus EV that you like to see before placing a bet, specifically on the over-unders using EV analytics. So he's mentioning one of the filtering tools in Derek's projections on EV analytics. That percentage, is that something you look at yourself, or are you looking more at the projected number versus the implied number and calculating it that way? Or, I mean, that's what it's calculated from, but is there another way that you're looking at the numbers, Derek?
Yeah, it's always kind of a combination of things. What they show on the site is the percentage difference between the projection and the implied projection. I definitely consider that. I'll consider where the rest of the market is. I have some other numbers behind the scenes, expected ROI and expected win percentage and stuff like that, that I will look at too. But really, it's really just a matter of, if you can find a number that has a high rating and a big difference between the projection and the implied projection, and especially if it's far off of the rest of the market or far off of a book like Pinnacle or something, then you're usually going to have a really good bet on your hands.
Yeah, but I wouldn't solely be using that percentage difference because, I mean, when you're looking at stolen base markets, the difference between like 0.06
Right.
and 0.09, I mean, you're looking at a 50% difference in expected value. And really, that's not massive when you're looking at 0.09%.
Yeah.
He's not a good pitcher. That's what polite hesitation. That's met his brother in Taiwan. Very nice family. Let's throw that out there. I believe Mitch Lively, Ben's brother. Release number 2, PointsBet. The boys are over at PointsBet. Secondary books include Caesars, DK. This one's pretty widely available, I believe.
Yeah. If you have Betway in America, I think the number is the same.
Okay. Game in question, we are going to the late game. Washington at LA, the Nats at the Dodgers, the 10 o'clock game on the West Coast, all the way down to the bottom. Market, we're looking at pitcher strikeouts. For release number 2, making sure it's still there. What am I looking at? There we go. And it's moved significantly.
It's moved quite a bit. All right, we can find a better number than that. Hold on.
Okay. Maybe another book. We were at a different book. Then we moved to PointsBet because they lagged behind the initial move. Waiting for Derek's call here.
So I know American Betway has it, but you guys probably can't pull that up. I think 365, DK, MGM, Caesars all look like they have the same number.
Boom. Look at producer Mick with the pivot. So we're at Bet365 here, but it was a widely available number. We were getting about 5 extra points, but just on that move there, we lost about 15 points. That was a significant move. So for release number 2, we are on Washington starting pitcher Jake Irvin under 3.5 Ks, now -110. Jake Irvin under 3.5 Ks, -110. I believe this was even money when we started looking at the numbers when you sent us your initial plays, Derek. Everybody in the chat, let us know where you got it. Got it at +130 very early in the morning.
Yeah, this early this morning, there was +130s, +125s, +120s. It's just been plummeting. So if you got in early on it, good for you, because that is amazing. Even at -110, it's still good. The bat is projecting 2.5 here, so it's like a full strikeout under the line. So even anything close to this number is going to be good. He's a very weak pitcher who is usually on a very short leash, and he's facing one of the absolute best offenses in baseball in the Dodgers, and they're also one of the lowest strikeout offenses. So it's in a good hitter's park. So it's just it's going to be a tough spot here for Lively.
Have you checked out the winds at Dodger Stadium?
Yeah, I was going to say probably even pretty good weather too.
15 miles blowing straight out.
Yeah, so there's lots of things working against Irvin here. Yeah. And I like this number still.
Yeah, 19 Ks, 16 walks over 22 innings pitched for the rookie, 76, 75 pitches in his last 2 starts. Tough matchup, tough lineup. Pinnacle was at -125. I mean, to the gentleman who said plus 130 very early in the morning. Once you start betting early in the morning and see the CLV that you can end up with, you'll never go back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And your afternoons will be clear. But yeah, it's fun to
Pinnacle's
get all your
moving
bets in
down.
kind of before you get out of bed sometimes.
Yeah. Pinnacle's minus 139 now. So it just every book is just moving down.
All right. Let's keep the train rolling. Release number 3, Bet365. Widely available play. Caesars, Betway, probably your best secondary books. And there's Milo chiming in about being limited. And that's another good point that he brings up. You get flagged when you have closing line value, when you beat the number on the books consistently. Sorry.
Yeah. Second best line here is MGM, I think, for people.
Oh, and you got, okay, nice. Very good. Thank you. Game in question, Texas at Detroit, the Rangers at the Tigers. Heading to offense, going to the prop market, player hits. This is one that I would assume after the show should shorten up 15 points.
At least.
Yeah. I believe it's right at the top, producer Mick. Oh, no, it's right there. Sorry. That's the...
Yep, got our number still.
Perfect. So for release number 3, we are on Detroit's Andy Ibanez under 0.5 hits plus 215. Ibanez under 0.5 hits plus 215. Actually, 365 doesn't move that quick, so it might take a little while for them to go. But I mean, plus 215 here. This is a guy hitting 167 on the season, facing a lefty in Martin Perez, and hitting a $130 with a $130 OPP versus lefties. He's not walking. He's swinging, obviously, and you have him as a 68% pitch hit risk today. That is a lovely thing to see at plus 215.
Yeah, it really is. He's, like you said, not a great hitter, gets pinch hit for at one of the highest rates in all of baseball. And this is just a really, really good number on him. Most of the market's more like plus 175, plus 180, which is still fine. But plus 215 is ridiculous.
Yeah. And then we see MGM go down on that. And yeah, that's what happens at MGM. MGM will take those down quick. 365, sometimes they'll move, sometimes they won't on these. That probably should move 15 to 20 points compared to the market. But Ibanez, yeah, let's bring him in to face the lefties. And he's hitting 130 versus lefties and 167 on the season.
Yeah.
Sure.
And this is a
pinch hit risk.
This is a 46% winner projected that we're getting at plus.
Very coin flippy for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. Let's keep rolling. We got some more offensive props here. Next one. Release number 4. We're at DK. This is a DK specific book. And if he can help Elmelo 95 out, if anyone else keeps getting logged out of Caesar's app, let him know so he knows it's not just him. Plus 180 at Bet Rivers. I'm sure that's it. So looking back at Ibanez, Derek, before we release this, I mean, you said what, 48%? So that's a play to like plus 135.
Yeah. If it keeps moving that direction, sure. But yeah, any number that's available at any book right now is good.
Okay, we're at DK. Sorry, producer Mick. Thank you. The game in question, San Diego at Miami. The Padres at the Marlins. Go over to batter props and go down. Head all the way to batter strikeouts.
Yeah, I wish more books would offer this market. DK is the only one I can find that does, but it's a fun one.
Yeah, it certainly is. I like the combination of the no hits and the no strikeouts for changing the way you watch a baseball game.
For sure.
For release, Our next release, 4 or 5. I believe it's 4.
4.
Brett Sullivan, under 0.5 Ks plus 145. Brett Sullivan, under 0.5 Ks plus 145. That was the one I was shouting at producer Mick for that was at the top. There he is there, plus 145. Be interested to see if it does go OTB here. In, like I said, we say it every week, pretty inefficient market. But here's a guy who, oh, yeah, boom.
Plus 130 and then done.
Yeah. 25 points. Did it just go to plus 120?
It went to plus 130 and then disappeared immediately.
Oh, yay. Well done, everybody. But this is a guy who hasn't seen 4 plate appearances in 20 games, 26% K percentage in a smaller role, 32% pinch hit risk on your end, Derek, and faces a pitcher who I would love to talk about this too, who everybody thinks just because he's a Cy Young winner is like a 26% K guy, and he isn't. The bat has a much lower projection with Sandy Alcantara than basically everybody else in the market. As I go back to my Sandy Alcantara blurb I had written here, you have him lower than he actually is. I believe he's at about 21.3% right now, around 21.6 K percentage, Alcantara.
Yeah,
Zips, FGDC, and ACDC are all higher than him. How validating is it to see a significant difference between your projection versus the competition?
Yeah, it's always nice to see. And I think part of that's because the bat does a better job of accounting for the run environment in season. Strikeouts are down a little bit. Sandy's a great pitcher, but he's not a big strikeout pitcher. And the thing about Sullivan, too, he has that 26% strikeout rate this year. But if you look at what he's done in the minors, he's not a guy who strikes out. Like every projection, if you look on FanGraphs, is like 16%, 17% strikeout rate. Like he's not a big strikeout guy. The pinch hit risk is big. He hits 9th. So that's what this comes down to. It's a bad hitter, but it's a bad hitter who doesn't strike out, who gets pinch hit for, facing, an ace that isn't a big strikeout ace, and kind of a deceptive MLB line for him, with the 26% strikeout rate, because that's going to come down.
People saying that it's back up at plus 130.
Yeah, still good at plus 130.
Lovely. So I believe that's it. We had some other leans. Do you care that I give out the leans, Derek, at the prices?
Just don't give out the other hits one, because that might be a social one later, depending on the lineup.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll just tease it that way then. Okay, that's important. Okay, we'll wait for that lineup. What did we miss? Which one did we miss that we took off that moved significantly?
That was Weathers. We had Weathers over 3.5 strikeouts plus 145 like 10 minutes before the show, and then that moved to like plus 120 or 125 or something, which not as good at that number.
Yeah, so we lost Weathers. I believe Derek sent over 8 plays at about 7:30, and pretty strong value in all of them, but the market kind of collapsed in some of them. But we're left here with 4 plays, locked and loaded. Ben Lively under 15.5 outs, minus 118. Jake Irvin under 3.5 Ks, minus 110. That move, we had to pivot to another book on that. Andy Ibanez under 0.5 hits, plus 215. I actually wonder if that number's still available. Interesting to see if 365 does move quickly. And Brett Sullivan under 0.5 Ks, plus 145. We saw immediate movement on that at DK. We saw MGM close it down on Ibanez on the hits. And that's where we are. Back up. What do we got? Thanks, fellas. Thanks as always. Let's sweep the board. Let's absolutely do it. Feeling confident. Derek's numbers running absolutely hot this May. We got today. We got tomorrow. We'll clean up the month of May, get into June. But let's go every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, 9:15 here. Thanks to Derek. Thanks to producer Mick. I'm Josh Shingles. This is Covers. We'll see you back here Tuesday, 9:15. And follow that Twitter account. Follow the Covers Twitter account for our social play. Derek's waiting for a lineup play today, and hopefully something comes out before you leave. If you haven't, hit that like, subscribe button. We'll see you here tomorrow, same time.